When she was selected, you know what she said, Holly? She said,
she was super excited.
Awesome. That's the direct quote. You're on the jury. Awesome.
Awesome.
Love the enthusiasm, right? So, Holly, the numbers seem to favor prosecutors, but I listened to the answers and I can't tell.
Well, this juror that just got seated today was a leader. I wrote down next to her as I listened to her answers, she's a leader. She's a fundraiser. She's not, quote, afraid to ask for money. She works for a nonprofit. She believes that excessive force against Black people should stop. So that's pro-prosecution. But she is a leader, and at times she made comments that could have also been a leader for the defense as well. So we'll see. But I am pleased that there's another woman on this jury. I agree that it's a younger panel, a younger group of people, but that's what Minneapolis is looking like nowadays. We are, in fact, in this case because there is a changing demographic in Minneapolis at this point. And so I think it's really a good thing that these jurors are younger. And I think if you think about the generation that they grew up in, they are far removed, at least a generation removed from the 60s and 70s. And that's going to be really helpful, I think, for the prosecution. When we're turning to, especially in the testimony by the younger bystanders as well, you're going to have jurors who are actually in the peer group as the bystanders who are pleading with the police officers to stop hurting George Floyd. I think it will be a very powerful moment for those jurors.
Yeah, millennials. We got a bunch of millennials. All right. I want, Candace, you to listen to Juror 48, who was struck from this jury. Let's take a listen.
I was a Sergeant E5.
Thank you. You were in a reserve unit. You have indicated you don't have any specific familiarity with the defendant.
No, that's correct. I do not.
If you were to find out that the defendant also served in the military, do you think that that might have an effect on your opinion of him?
No.
All right. Candace, guess who struck him? The prosecution or defense?
That's going to be the prosecution.
They did. And again, we're back in opposite world. I mean, prosecutors usually love members of the military on the jury.
Absolutely. They do. But we do have Chauvin, who was in the military. So the other thing, too, is that, you know, they just love people who are very, how do I say this? They love people who know how to follow instructions. They love people who are regimented, right? And I was very surprised that they got rid of him. This is really just there's so many things that are backwards considering what we've known before from other trials. I was very surprised that he was struck. He looked like he was a winner, quite frankly.
Let's take a listen to juror number 4. Take a listen.
You indicated that you had, in fact, yourself participated in a peaceful BLM protest in Duluth, and you did not carry a sign?
Yes.
And that other people like your cousins, I believe, indicated that they had also participated in some marches?
They were in Minneapolis, yes.
Minneapolis, okay. Why did you decide to go to that protest?
I just felt it was necessary to show my support.
Okay. Your support for whom?
Others who have been affected by similar situations.
Okay. So not simply this particular case?
And this case.
And this case. So again, you have an opinion about this case. You have an opinion about Mr. Chauvin. You have an opinion about the need for police reform. And all of those opinions are you are entitled to those opinions. Can you honestly tell us that you can set aside those strong opinions and judge this case on the facts alone?
Yes.
All right, Holly, this is someone that went to protests after this happened and was not dismissed for cause. The defense had to use a strike. Are you surprised there?
No, because you have to show if you're doing a strike for cause that this person's unable to distinguish their opinions from reality. And this person very clearly was rehabilitated, perhaps by defense counsel accidentally, but was able to answer the question and say, I am able to set aside my opinions and be a fair and impartial juror. And one thing I wanted to go back on about the police officer was that one of the reasons why I think the prosecution absolutely struck him is that in his answering of the questions, he was identifying with police officers, saying that sometimes bystanders contribute to the stress of the situation. So as a person who is in the military, he was identifying with the police officers like Derek Chauvin, who have to sometimes come in and make a split-second decision. And if he had been deployed in the military or had even carried a gun or a weapon and maybe had discharged it in the line of duty, he might have identified with Derek Chauvin in those moments. So I think that's absolutely why the prosecution got rid of him quickly.
All right, when we come back.